With the new measure being called one of the strictest immigration laws in the country, the Texas House bill passing authorizing officers to arrest migrants.
And it's expected to have major implications for migrants in Texas and all across the country. Let's bring in ABC's Mireya Villareal. She is in Dallas with the latest. And Mireya, I know there's a lot of uproar over this bill, so break down for us exactly what's in it.
Hey, good morning, guys. Listen, it's no surprise, right, that Texas Governor Greg Abbott, he does not agree with the Biden administration's handling of the border. So he really has implemented his own initiatives and strategies over the last few years. And now that comes along with more funding. Last night we saw SB 4 voted on and passed. And really what this allows Texas to do is it puts two new laws in place. One that says that law enforcement officers in the state, so sheriff's deputies, constables, police officers, they can arrest someone they believe has entered or re-entered into the state illegally. But then it also allows judges to send those people back to the country where they crossed over from. And if migrants don't comply, they could face up to 20 years in prison. So some very strict laws now potentially going into place here in the state of Texas.
So what are you hearing from migrants there already living in Texas?
You know, DeMarco, I think there is a real concern here. A lot of advocates that we've spoken to, attorneys that are already working on what their next step will be, have said that this is causing a lot of fear in the migrant community. People who are here going through the actual process of, you know, trying to live here in the U.S. legally. I think the bigger concern for people that are crossing over at the border is, you know, how are they going to implement these laws? I mean, advocates say, listen, if the only way you have is to look at them and say, like, that they might not be here legally, well, then that's racial profiling. So there is a big concern about what sort of implications this may have for them. And a lot of migrants are also very fearful that if they do cross the border and they are arrested, will they be separated from their children? Also, what does this do to the asylum seeking process? So really a lot of big concerns here that could have some constitutional implications further down the road.
And also, I'm curious about the foreign relations that goes into this. Could this cause some sort of dispute with Mexico if these judges are sending people back across the border?
Absolutely. Look, over the last few years, as Governor Abbott has started to do his own thing here along the border, each time he implements a new strategy, a new plan, puts in place, you know, we do hear from Mexico's president be very outspoken about his frustration, his anger with what that does to their own border communities. I mean, really, this will stress their system even more than what they are already dealing with right now. And there is a big concern about the safety of migrants as they are being pushed back into Mexico without any sort of safety precautions in place. And so, yeah, I can imagine we will hear from the president very soon of Mexico talk about what this law could potentially do to their country as well.
And Mireya, do we know when Governor Abbott could get the bill and when it could go into law?
You know, as of right now, they're not giving us a timetable for this. I mean, it's very clear that that Governor Abbott really did want more funding to go to border security. So there is a good likelihood, right, that he will sign this, but no idea when it'll actually get to his desk. What is very clear as of late last night, as soon as this bill passed, we heard from a number of advocacy groups, ACLU being the biggest right now. They are already saying we are vowing to take this to court. We want to make sure that we keep this from being implemented, and we want to make sure that we keep this from, you know, out of the court system or into the court system, and make sure that we don't see law enforcement officers trying to implement this before we actually have a discussion about it. So again, I think we have a long ways for this to go, but clearly Texas wants to move forward with it.
Yeah, definitely not the last time we will be talking about it. ABC's Mireya Villareal, thank you so much for being with us.
Good to see you, friend.
Thanks, guys.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.